Right, now I'm going to bust the drums together. Some people would stop at what I've already done, apart from the reverb, but I'll do that again in a minute. I'm going to bust the drums together. Now what I mean is, it's probably easiest to go on the mixer. I'm going to select them all. Yeah, and now, at the moment, they're just going to stereo mix. So what I'm going to do is, select them all and make a bus for them. Bus 1. I'll call it drums. Drum bus. So now, all of them is coming out of one. All the drums are now coming out of their own output, which is then going to the main output. Just this is one thing I like to do, often because I have to automate it. But if you go here and you go read, then your drum bus will appear in here, mainly so you can do automation on it. So if you wanted, you could change the level up and down, whatever. Anyway, I like to do that so I can actually access it on the arrange page quite easily. The other great thing, I mean, when you bust something, then you know your channel which I have over here, it shows the output of that channel here, bus 1, so you could also access it through there. Right, anyway, so now I'm going to apply a bit of bus compression. What a lot of people would do as well is, again, my whole kind of shaving hairs off the thing, do that on this as well. In fact, I'll do this very quickly, see if I can find anything here. You might find there's some parts like that. I bet that is quite a heavy, like. You can fiddle around with this for a while anyway, but usually, even if you do things on individual tracks, there's probably some parts of the whole song where there's very loud parts, like the drums do a big fill, and then everything kind of adds up together and becomes really loud. So sometimes it's nice to do the shaving hairs thing off on the overall drum bus. So that's the first thing I would do, actually. Now I'm going to apply a little gentle bit of compression. Compression / EQ. I'll do them both at once. In fact, what I never really mentioned was, what's always a good idea is, if you're not sure whether compression or EQ should come first, quite often, listen in the mix, swap them round. What I've done there, that's a kick EQ and compression. Just press Command, grab it, move them round. Anyway, that's, you know, something you might want to do just to, if you're not sure whether EQ and compression should come first. I'm going to do EQ first, actually. This is what I generally do. If I've got a drum bus, I actually now, I'll pull the bottom end off again at 50. 45 actually. Now, at 120 Hertz, this is simply because I did some stuff with a mastering engineer once. Just to give a little extra boost on each of these parts. At 120 Hertz and at about 2000 Hertz, I'll just give a very small little nudge. Bring the kick and snare out again, just a little bit more. I'm going to pull this down, so at A bit. You might decide it doesn't need it, but I find that it's sometimes a little bit of general EQ to again bring the kick and snare out a little bit on the bus sometimes just adds an even extra element, especially when you hear it in with the rest of a mix. That's something there. You might want that, you might not want it. So you know, flick it on and off, see what you think, and then finally a little bit of gentle compression. This time with the compressor, I'm actually going to use RMS compression instead of peak, a bit more gentle, and yeah, not very much, maybe a 1.7 ratio or something. Keep messing with this. This is just, again, to give it a little general squeeze. Little extra control on the dynamics. Okay, now that's pretty much alright. Now I'll hit it again with this. Can you hear how much the sound has changed over time? Yeah. Okay, so that's bus processing for the drums.